All right. Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock here in sunny California. And welcome to Zoho Survey's first webinar. We're going to go over the overview of the survey in its 3 sections, and we'll do a live demo with you. And you'll get a chance to test Zoho Survey as well. And we'll send you the actual survey, and we'll show you what the reporting looks like as well from the back end. And then we'll also have a large chunk at the end for any questions, and we have a number of experts here on Zoho Survey, and we'd be happy to answer any and all questions. All right, so if you have any comments as we're going through, feel free to put your messages in our chat window. So let me introduce myself first off. My name is Warren, and I'm here with Raju as well, and we're both here to show you Zoho Survey. And again, welcome everybody in case you're just coming onto our webinar, and we'll get started now. Great, so welcome again. Zoho, as you know, we have some 25 plus apps in our full suite of different applications for business, for collaboration, and for productivity, serving our 7 million users from small businesses to medium-sized businesses to enterprise as well. And as you've probably seen, we just launched a number of new products. We just launched Zoho Vault, which is a password management system, and it stores and organizes passwords and also gives you options to share your passwords as well within your organization. And as we developed Zoho Vault, we realized that this was an application that we also wanted as well internally just to help manage this. And from that same line of thought, Zoho Survey also we felt was a needed application. So from ranging from our own events to getting feedback from our own products, this is where the idea for Zoho Survey came to be. Great, so Zoho Survey is basically, let's put that page. Great, so Zoho Survey just has 3 simple sections. So any great survey app just needs to be able to create surveys in an easy way and be able to distribute them easily and also to review the results. So let's look at creating surveys. So we've designed Zoho Survey to be very easy to use. We wanted it to be accessible on the web from any device and with multiple form factors. We created a free native app for iPad, so you can always feel free to download that. Zoho Survey is very easy to customize with various themes and templates, and we'll show you that in our demonstration as well. And for collaboration purposes, Zoho Survey can invite reviewers to provide commentary and to preview the full survey, as I'm sure many of you are doing surveys with other folks besides just yourself. And then to ensure that the right question goes to the right person, we can add logic to our surveys as well, so both at the question level and the page level. So for example, if you want to isolate feedback specifically from a certain geographic area, we can show you how we do that. Or if your product is tailored to a certain demographic, say ladies versus gentlemen, we can show you how we do that as well. Great, so that's creating surveys. And then you want to definitely distribute your surveys, and we'll show you the multiple options we do for that. So it can range from a simple link that you can email, and that works great for smaller amounts of user set that you need feedback from. Let's say you want to email just 3 to 10 people. You can just pop up your email client and use that. Or if you want to scale up, you can use social media from Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Google+, and we'll show you how we do that as well in the demo. And then you can also use email campaigns as well. So you can, if you're using MailChimp, that's great. You can also use Zoho campaigns. And to take advantage of the full breadth and depth of the Zoho suite of products, you can actually use Zoho campaigns for free. It's up to 500 subscribers, so you can send that up to 500 people, and there's a monthly limit of 2,500 emails per month. So you can test that, you can take that for a test drive, and you can access that at campaigns survey.zoho.com. And then we can also just add your survey to an existing web page, and that's as simple as copying and pasting the code that we can provide to you, and we'll show you what that looks like as well. And we also make it really easy and give you a QR code, so you can just save that image and use that to put on the back of brochures for feedback, or have it on the back of your business card for different types of surveys as well, and just make that really easy. Great. So the next part would be reviewing results. So obviously you want to look at your feedback, and we make that really easy with charts and reports, and you can analyze data by various filters. And let's say you want to share a certain subset of the feedback with certain folks in your organization. You can create a custom report and share just that subset with your specific colleagues. And then you can also export your survey results in various formats. And then you can also use our business intelligence tools to do your own custom analysis with Zoho Sheet and Zoho Reports. You can also take that for a test drive as well for free. And then you can also share this through Zoho Docs as well. And as we also offer the full integration with Google Drive. Great. Did you have anything to add, Raju?
Yeah, I think it's important to note that there are, I mean, if you look at any survey application, there are three aspects, as Warren was mentioning: creating a survey, distributing the survey, and reviewing the results. And pretty much all survey tools do the same. What's important is how good each of the tools, each of these functions are done in these tools. And in Zoho Survey, we try to make it simple, easy to use, and powerful for each of these three steps. We'll be going through a demo of all these three core aspects of Zoho Survey, and at the end we'll take some questions.
All right, great. All right, so now we're going to get into our actual demo of Zoho Survey, so please bear with me as I get that loaded up for us. All right, so hopefully that looks good. All right, so here's the actual interface once you log in. So let's look at the different tabs here. First, we have My Surveys. So if you have any existing surveys, you can easily view all those different surveys. And you'll notice that the major functions are, once you put your cursor over that specific survey, you can edit, you can preview, you can publish, or you can delete your survey. And so that's My Surveys. Next, we have Create Surveys. And your three main choices are, you can work on a fresh blank template, or you can use an existing template. So we have a number of existing templates for you, ranging from generally from customer feedback to education, to events, to HR, to marketing, just various industries. So that's existing, and you can start with that and make adjustments as well.
So the idea here is to basically make it easy for you to create a survey. So jumpstart on creating a survey. So we have predefined templates. You can pick a template, customize it, and go from there.
Right. So you can also use an existing survey. So you can just pull questions or the whole survey as well that way. So for our purposes, we're going to start with a fresh one. So for today's date.
So we're trying to create a survey for you guys. So what we'll do is maybe we'll just create a simple survey and maybe get your feedback on what you think about the Zoho Survey tool itself. And we'll publish the survey in the chat window in the webinar and get your feedback. So for that, let's try to add some questions.
Great. So here's our main question selection window. There's two ways to do it. We have our first page, which has some basic options. They're pretty self-explanatory. We have basic options for multiple choice, the rating scales, a star rating. We can do a text box, numeric text box, small text box for inputting email, a matrix selection as well. And if we click this arrow here, we have another page. So there's other options ranging from inputting dates, to an image type question, a drop-down selection, and we also have what's called just a simple header. So let's just select that one first, and we'll say something basic for our title as welcome to our survey. Your feedback will be very helpful to create a better user experience. Great, so we're going to save this, and let's see what that looks like. So that just created not exactly a question, but just a first slot for just a quick welcome note. And let's go to a very basic question that will be very popular for all users. So that'll be a simple multiple choice question. So in our first box on the top here, we have just question text. So let's do something simple like, what survey tools have you used before? And then on the bottom here, this will actually be our answers. So we're just going to organize each answer individually on a separate line. And note here we have a small box for making this answer mandatory. And you can definitely use that if you have critical information that you absolutely need to have. And here's a simple note to gently remind our survey folks that this is mandatory. Great, so let's just enter some basic selections with survey tools. Let's see if you've used Zoho Survey before, or SurveyMonkey. What's another?
Maybe Google Survey.
Google Survey. And we're going to select this add other choice field, which the surveyee can manually type in a selection in case our answers here aren't sufficient. And there's also an option for randomization as well, so we'll use that. And note here we can select the actual display format. So whatever you're comfortable with, you can preview all of these as we go. So let's just save that. Great, so here we have our second question here. And let's just say we want to rearrange the order here. We can go to the move option, we can copy it, we can edit it, or we can delete it. So let's just say we want to move it to the top. So we click move, and then there's an option here that says move here, and then bam, it's switched to the top. So let's say we didn't like that and we want to move it back. So let's click move again and drop it down to the bottom. So that's really, we make it really easy just to move questions around. Great, so that's multiple choice. And let's look at another question that would be pretty popular. How about we look at a, let's see, where's, oh, text box, here we go. So we're going to write a simple essay area. So we're going to write something such as, how did you first hear about Zoho Survey? And we can specify the format as well, and also the maximum character length, so we don't have any essays to read. So we'll just save that. And then what our users will see is there's just a text box here, and they can answer, oh, great, I heard it from your blog. We saw a quick banner ad or something. And we'll do that. And let's make another question. And this will also be a pretty popular question format. We have a star rating. So this is something like rate something 1 through 3, 1 through 5, and for our purposes, we'll do 1 through 10, and we'll say, from what you've seen today, how do you rate the ease of use of Zoho Survey to create, distribute, and review feedback? Please rate on a scale of 1 through 10, with 10 being the best. Right, so that's right here. We'll make that question. So the actual user will be able to just highlight the number of stars they feel that is appropriate. Click that, and that takes care of the rating. All right, and let's show you some other popular questions. Let's see. there's a drop-down selection, which would be pretty popular as well. So we can do something such as, what do you think is the best part of Zoho Survey? And we'll put our answer selections, say integration with many other applications, many apps, ease of use, clean interface, or something fun. Or add other choice. So we'll make it really easy again, and let's just randomize this. And let's look at this button right here. It's predefined choices. This is it fills in automatic answers for you. So let's say you wanted to do something. Actually, let's start a new question. Let me show you that a little easier. What this is let's say how do you like the whole survey? What a predefined choice is, it lets you select, it loads automatic answers for you. So it just saves you a little bit of time. So if you already know in advance what you're asking, you can use that. So days of the week, scales, gender, like, dislike, basic stuff like that. Great. So let's see. So what type of questions do we have so far? We have our header in the front. We have our multiple choice. We have our essay box. We have our rating scale, and we have our drop-down menu question. Great. So now let's show you how our question logic works and how you can make intelligent survey questions so that it self-selects. So let's do something like, let's do a single text box. Let's see. We'll ask something basic such as, where is your company operating? Where is your company from? So we'll save that. And note here on the bottom of the page, we have a couple different options. It says add question logic, add page, and page logic. And this will all be useful for what we're trying to do. So let's go back to our question here. Let's go to edit. You just highlight with your cursor and then go to the right. We're going to add question logic. Oh, oops. Sorry, pardon me. Let's save that. And then click add question logic. And we're going to see, we're going to go to that question we just made. Where is your company from? And here are the selections. So it can, if the value, we can set it to equal, to not equal, to contain, start with, or end with. And we'll say, we'll make it equal to, let's say, USA. If it is from the United States, then we want it to do something else. We want to continue to a different page. And we'll make that page here on the bottom. You see this add page button. So let's save that. And let's actually go back to that essay box. I just realized that we need actually a different format.
You can choose change question type.
Right, great. So we actually need to load answers. So let's change that question type to, let's see, actually, pardon me, made the wrong question. I have to go to multiple choice. Where is your company from? So let's make two easy selections, the United States and overseas. So this way the question logic would still work. So if someone answers USA, we'll make it jump to a different page. If it's overseas, we'll set another page right now. So let's go to add page, and we'll say United States. Great. So let's add a question for our United States users if they select that. And we'll do multiple choice again, only one answer, and then we'll ask you, are you in California? Not to be biased, but just to keep it really simple. Yes and no.
So the idea behind question logic is basically to present the right questions to the right audience. For example, you may want to ask certain questions if, say, a person is in US or maybe in Europe or other places. You may want to present some specific questions for that audience. So you can add this question logic and add these conditions so that the right questions are presented to that particular audience. And especially when you have surveys that are multi-paged, so based on the responses on the first page, you may want to present the questions on the second page. So such decisions can be made using the question logic and page logic. So you can kind of create some good, powerful surveys here that kind of takes the input and constructs the questions for the subsequent pages. So question logic and page logic are kind of extremely useful there.
Great, thanks, Raju. So let's continue on that line and establish a quick question, a third page for our overseas answers here. So we're going to make our third page, and let's make something different. Let's do a single text box and ask, where are you located overseas? So we'll save that. And let's see, that's pretty much all the questions we want to demonstrate. So let's preview this before we do anything. So here, note on the top, we have 3 options for viewing. We have what it will look like on a desktop, iPad, or on your iPhone.
The nice thing here is once you create a survey, the application automatically optimizes the survey for these screen and form factors. So you don't have to do anything from your end. If you send the link of the survey to your user, and if he happens to view that on his smartphone or his tablet, he will see the tablet and smartphone optimized versions on his device. So you don't have to do anything from at your end.
Yep. And then we can also go up here on near the top right. We can select different themes, and let's just scroll down the different options. This just basically gives you some basic decor to the survey, a background, certain typefaces that have been selected. So let's select one of them and see how that looks. Just keep it simple and professional, a little fresh. Great. So we like that. So let's go back and go back to our survey. Go back to edit. And let's look at the other tabs here on the top. So we've previewed it. We like it so far. Let's look at our settings. So here in our settings, we can actually import a survey logo. So the default logo is just Zoho Survey. And let's say you had a specific logo that you want to import for your company or for your organization. You can do that right here. And then you can change the survey name as well. So we're going to stick with our original one. And for actual navigation purposes, we have a couple different options. We can enable a back button. We can have a progress bar. Let's do question numbering. And to prevent spam, let's say you had this on a blog and you want to prevent excessive feedback, you can add a CAPTCHA option as well, so that automates any spam. You can even customize your buttons with specific names for each label. And we like it how it is. So let's see. And then near the footer, it'll say powered by Zoho Survey. And we'll leave that there. And then once the survey is done, here's the default text. So you can set a deadline or you can manually terminate the survey. And then here's some options for navigation as well once the survey is done. So let's save these settings. Great. We'll get a notification that it's done. And then again here on the top tabs, we can select different themes. So we've selected right now lecture, and let's say we didn't like lecture, we want to change it to something else. Let's take a look at some different options. Let's say we wanted this boardroom style. So let's select that one. So this is what it will look like. We have now notice on the top we have our progress bar indicator, which we just set for in our settings, and on the top we can change our fonts and related font sizes for both questions, choices, and the survey itself. So we can make custom options for all of that. So let's keep that. And here we can go to publish, and we can set certain options as well. We can set a cutoff date, which would be pretty useful if you want to keep your feedback timely with a certain deadline. We can set a maximum response count. So let's say you had a great event for 1,000 people, and you want to set that maximum response list to say 1,200 people, because 5,000 responses wouldn't make sense. So you can do that. And you can also limit multiple responses from the same person. So before we publish that, let's say I created the survey and I want to run this by my team. So we're going to invite Raju now to show our collaboration feature, and we just click invite reviewer here on the right. So we do that. I'm going to put Raju. We can set his access to the survey from 1 day to 7 days. So we do that, and let's just add his email here. So let's send the invite. So we can note here on the bottom who we've shared access to look at our survey. So I'm going to switch the screen to Raju, and we'll show you what it looks like from his end and what he can do on his collaboration side.
So we'll switch from at my end. First thing you'll notice that is you'll receive an email. You'll receive an email from Warren. In this case, Warren shared the survey, so I receive an email saying he's added me as a reviewer. I click on the link, and it takes me to the survey where the questions that we previously added are kind of listed here, and you'll notice a small comment section here where I can add my comment to any of the questions that he's added. For example, here are a few questions, and maybe I may have some feedback on a particular question. For example, in this case, here we have 2 questions, and there's a duplication. Maybe I'll add a comment that says, we can say, can we avoid duplication here? And post a message, and Warren will receive an email saying that I posted a comment, and he'll be able to view that in his survey as well. And again, you can invite multiple reviewers, and you can obtain the feedback, and based on that, make changes to the survey before you even publish it. So with that, let me change it back to Warren and see how it appears on his screen.
All right, thank you, Raju. So let's go back to our page. Let's refresh this. And we're going to scroll down. We'll see a notification on one of the questions. Here we go. So we see there's 1 note, and that's the first comment. So any subsequent comments would change this number value to 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, so you can stay up to date. So as Raju noted, we have a duplicate question, and how we delete this question, again, we just put our mouse cursor over that question, go to the right, and click delete. And to be safe, Zoho Survey will prompt you to see if you really want to delete this or this is an error. So let's just delete, and let's go back. Oh, Zoho Survey is prompting us that one of our question logic is incorrect. So let's edit that and see what happened. So that was just because we just deleted that previous question, and let's fix that now. Great. So again, now we've set this so that if on this previous question, if you answer USA, it's going to send you to, it's going to send you to our United States page. And then we have an overseas page as well. Let's add that question logic. We're going to set that to go to page 3 and save that. And that's it for there. And let's look at it. Let's preview it one more time, and then we'll publish it, and we'll share the actual survey with you, and you can take that for a test drive. So looking at our survey, I just want to make sure everything looks in order. So number 1, number 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's look at the drop down. Great. So everything looks good. Next page. Say we're from California. Where are you located? Oh, located in California. Okay. Great.
Yeah. So this is basically we're previewing this, and now we can go ahead and publish the survey.
Okay.
So far we looked at step 1, which is basically creating the survey. So you have multiple options to create survey, multiple question types, and of course, ability to add page logic, invite reviewers, and improve the survey. The next stage is publishing the survey. When you talk about publishing, the first simple step is you get a URL. You get a simple link where you can share with your colleagues or anyone. Or once you share the link again, you can just link it from your website, send it through email, and all of these. But then it just doesn't end there. There are lots of options where you can distribute your survey. So, for example, in this screen, immediately as soon as you see the link, you can obviously copy and paste the link, but you also have social options. To start with, maybe we'll just copy and paste this link for you guys in the chat window so that you can just submit your responses to this particular survey that we just created.
You want to copy and paste that, Raju?
Sure. Let me copy and paste that survey. Feel free to click on that survey. This is the one that we just created, and maybe you can submit some answers. We'll review them later in the report section.
Yeah, so we'll give you guys about 60 seconds just to look through that really quick.
And note that there are multiple options to promote this survey through the social channels here in the screen. You can share the link through Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Google+. Again, a link will basically be posted on your Facebook wall in this case, if you choose to publish it on a Facebook wall. And you can add your own message and publish it as well.
And on Facebook, you can specify if that's on your own timeline, a friend's timeline in a group, or a page you manage. For example, if you had a company Facebook page. You can tweet it as well. And LinkedIn, here's what LinkedIn would look like. And then also on Google Plus as well. All right, so hope you guys are done with filling out the survey. Meanwhile, let's look at some other options before we go to our reports. So these are our, again, you can email this link or copy and paste it and share it as you would like, or use our social media tools to scale up for your feedback. And here are the embedding options. So we provide you the code to just add a copy and paste into your existing website, and ranging from different options here. And then if you go to the bottom, we can also give you a QR code. So this is the QR code right here for our own survey. So if you have your phone handy, you can look this up really quick and see what this looks like on your phone. You can save this image and put that on your existing literature or any correspondence. Great. So let's look at the other options as well of our survey. Here's our campaigns, and we have the built-in integration for both Zoho campaigns and MailChimp. And you can feel free to use Zoho campaigns and take that for a free test drive and see how that works. And then here's our restrictions again. We can set a cutoff date. So let's set a cutoff date for tomorrow for our surveys, and a max response count of 150 people. And let's just ensure only one response is per computer. So let's save that. And then here's the final option, which is to close the survey. So you can manually terminate that.
So if you look at all these options, again, these provide multiple options to distribute your survey. Obviously, it starts with a link where you can share your survey using a link. That is the first option. The second option is sharing it through the social channels. That includes Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google+. The third option is to embed that on your website, where we give you multiple types of code where you can just copy and paste the code to embed the survey in your website. The fourth option is to basically embed that as a QR code, again, on your website or other places where you can just ask your audience to take a survey. That's the fourth option. And the fifth option, which we think is going to be mostly used, is the campaign management option, where you're going to use the campaign management integration and send that survey as an email to multiple users. If you have 5 or 10 people, you can obviously just open your email client, compose an email and send it across. What do you have 5,000 of them? What do you have 500,000 of these contacts that you want to email the survey to? So in that case, you will end up using a campaign management tool, and we do have a powerful campaign management tool where you can use it to just send out the survey. And of course, we also integrate with Mailchimp, but you can use any campaign management tool that you have been using and basically send out the survey. But with Zoho Campaigns, you get some out-of-the-box functionality where we automatically create a template for your survey so that you can just send it out as a campaign. So that's basically the second step of distributing your surveys to your users. So we'll now move to the next step, which is reviewing the reports.
All right, great. So this is what the reports page looks like. So here we're viewing this in summary. So we're looking at all of the total gestalt of responses. So notice here we have 10 completed responses. Thank you guys who did that. We also have partial responses, and we have a log of the total survey visits. So it gives you some general numbers. And let's take a look at what you guys said. First off, we can look at the different display options ranging from charts to data or both. And first off, looks like we have this is spread out pretty evenly. Let's look at a specific note here. We have the specific other responses where people wrote in what they've used.
And note that at this individual question level, you can export the image, and there are export options at the individual question level. So just where you see the questions. So you can export it as a PDF or export it as an image. These are the answers for that specific question.
Right. So as Roger mentioned, here's the individual question level, and then if you go to the actual total survey reports, you can export as well as a spreadsheet, CSV file, or open in Zoho Sheet. This other button here is to share the report, and we can select which report. If we had a custom one, we can choose exactly which filter we would like, and if we would like for them to see the summary or the full text responses. And for sharing permissions, we can organize that from an individual user to the whole organization or externally, or set it with a password. So let's go back to our reports and look at the different questions. Let's see, here's question number 2. How did you first hear about Zoho Survey? And let's see, Zoho Campaigns is one response, Internet, TechCrunch article, our blogs, Zoho Consultant, colleague, longtime Zoho user. Let's see, here's a couple other ones. Great. So notice here we also have a note on 12. We received 12 answers, and we had 3 that were skipped. If you set this question as a mandatory question, obviously we'd have a higher response rate, but that's kind of annoying. No worries. So number 3, let's see. From what you've seen today, how do you rate the ease of Zoho Survey? So most of the responses were generally pretty favorable. Thank you guys for that. So here's 10 stars, 9 stars, 8 stars, and one of them was 6, and we'd be curious to see what that was as well. And let's go to question number 4. What do you think is the best part? Ease of use, clean interface. So here's our responses from you guys. Great. And again, we can show on the display options just the chart, just the data, or both. And again, we can export just this question. So let's say you wanted marketing to see this, just the responses to this question. Here's the simple export filter, the export option.
But then there are going to be cases where you may want to share the report with other people. So sharing is an important aspect. Sure, you can share it at the question level, but you may want to share it share the entire survey results or maybe part of the survey results. So we do offer a shared option as well. We'll get to that in a minute.
Great. So let's just look at that share report. Let's enter a name. Let's say we'll share a report with just marketing, and let's apply a simple filter, complete responses. And we'll share that with, you can do that with XYZ. Or you can also create a filter. So let's create a filter. Let's say, again, we want to create a filter for marketing, and we can add a condition. So we want to see what survey tools have you used before. And so let's save that.
And you can also add a filter for responses based on the date range. So you can say responses received between certain days should be filtered and should be included as part of this report so that you can share this report with marketing.
Great. So let's view what that looks like. So here we go. Here we have that custom report, and we can share this directly with marketing and just email that to them. Or we can export that. Oh, pardon me. Okay, great. And so going back to the top, that we've been viewing everything from the summary responses. We can also look at everything from an individual response. So it'll show you the date and time, their IP address, and everything else. So you can see if it was a partial response, what questions they skipped. You can also go to this third tab, which is Manage Reports. And again, you can create a custom report and select specifically what questions you want to share or unshare. And then there's also a cross-tab feature. So you can compare and contrast different sets of data from multiple surveys and see how they're related. So since we don't have many surveys saved here on my account, that won't going to be particularly useful. But this is effectively you can use this in the future. And let's look at our advanced options here. Again, it's just applying a filter and sharing a report. All right, great. So again, you can export this to Zoho Sheets. And also use our Zoho reports to do your own custom analysis as well. And let's go back to our Zoho show.
So again, as you looked at it, there are 3 aspects here. 1, ability to create a survey. 2, ability to distribute the survey. And 3, ability to review the survey results, which is important. And again, slicing and dicing the data, sharing the survey results with the appropriate people, and all of that. So again, this is the first version. We are obviously making improvements constantly, as is the case with pretty much all of Zoho products. And we are looking forward to your feedback. But we want to add more information as well. One, Zoho Survey is available on iPad as a native application. So you can use that